All right, here we go. So we're starting dictionaries today, and probably the most common object you've ever come in contact with that uses a dictionary, other than an actual dictionary, is probably the phone book in your computer or in your phone, your contacts list. So the way now, I'm not saying this is how Apple does it. I'm not saying anything like that. This is just the easiest way for me to tell you how and what a dictionary is. So a dictionary has two parts. It has a key and a value, just like an actual dictionary. You have a word and a definition. You find the definition by using the word. Two values in a dictionary you can have two different keys have the same value, but not the other way around. You can't have two of the same keys because it'll overwrite the other one.
So a key would be a word
A
and
key is Brendan, and the value could be another dictionary. It could be It could be a string. It could be a number. It could be a list. It could be a bunch of stuff. So again, the most common thing you've probably ever seen is your phone book and your contacts list in your phone, because the key is the name. Sorry, I bit my tongue the other day, and so I'll talk a little weirdly. So I apologize for that. And I may just go randomly. So your contact list in your phone. You have a key, which would be the kid's name, your contact's name, so Maddie. And then you have phone number, email address, birthday, all of these things. Notice every time you look at your phone, you have this, it's in a list. You have name, and then you have phone number, and then you have secondary phone number, and then you have email, and then you have address, and then, so if you look at it's a list. So if we coded it in such a way that we have Maddie's name, and then we have a list full of 10 items, right? Because every contact in your phone, I'm going to actually look at this just so I can, if you guys want to pull out your phone and just take a look at your contacts. Pick the first one. So this is a guy I went to high school with. Or create a new contact. Let's do that. So if you create a new contact, you'll see you have first name, last name, company, and then a phone, email, ringtone, text tone, URL, address, birthday, date. I don't know why you have date. Related name, social profile, instant message, and notes, and then you can add your own field. So by default, one way you could do this is you could have your first, last company. You can combine that to be your key. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have 12 different items. Phone, email, ringtone, text tone. What you could do is you could have the phone name, you could have the person's name, and then a list with 10 blank or empty strings. So let's start with that. So we're going to do phone book. Phone book equals, and I'm actually going to do this in the shell for now, just at the beginning. So to create a dictionary, lists are two square brackets. Tuples are parentheses, which we don't really use. Dictionaries are two curly brackets. So that's how you know this is an empty dictionary. So what we're going to do...
Mr. Stotter?
Oh, yep, I'm going to share my screen. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot again. It's just every day.
You should make a script that tells you to do it every time you open it. Or just does it for you when you file it.
Yeah, but then no, it's not worth it. Because I would either have to integrate or interface with Zoom directly or do an automated GUI, which would click for me, but then it would take over control of my mouse and all like that. So, Maddie. Maddie is our key. And then the way we don't separate by commas, because a comma is the universal separator. Maddie and the key and the value are one thing. So what we do is we put a colon, and then we can put a list. Or we could put a phone number. So this is not her phone number.
Put 555 in
So now that is Maddie's key. That is the value. Does that make sense? What we can do is then we separate by a comma, and then we'll put Adam, colon, and you can just have a phone book this way. So if I want to display Maddie's phone number, oops, curly brackets, so, oh no. Does that make sense? So I call phone book, I call Maddie's value, her phone number, by typing the dictionary name, and then you can kind of think of this as the index, right? Because if I put curly brackets, does that really make sense? I'm creating a dictionary, well, I can't even put that into, like, I'm calling a dictionary what, that doesn't work. So if I do phone book brackets and I do Maddie, it's just gonna give me an error. I don't even think it's gonna, yeah, it's just an invalid syntax. That's just not how you do it. Everyone tracking with me so far? Now what if I wanted to give phone number, I wanted to also give, that. Let's say that's Maddie's home number and Adam's home number. I want to put their cell phone number. What I could do is I could make this a list, and then I could put we go to Adam. Now I'm going to open the book in a second because I don't want to get too far off in the weeds on my own without using the book. And so, oops. So now we know that a cell phone is, this is home, this is cell phone. So cell is 1. Home is 0. Everyone tracking with me so far? This is the index of these phone numbers.
Can you put integers in dictionary?
You can, yeah. So we're going to do phone book, Maddie. And because phone book Maddie is a, oops. Because phone book Maddie is a list, what can we do? How would we just display that? How do we display one specific index of a list?
Bracket,
Well, I said the word, it's with bracket, with indexes. So what I can do is we then type in cell, that's her cell phone number, this is her home number.
Well, when you define that as selling home? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay. Now let's get into the book because I feel like I'm starting to go into the weeds. So this is chapter 5.
Can you use the restroom?
Yeah, sure. We'll have a break in like 10 or 15 minutes, so just FYI for anyone else. Does anyone have questions so far?
Wait, so like if you were to have a dictionary, like would it be defined as like a list, right?
No, say that again?
Oh, so a dictionary is just a dictionary.
A dictionary is a dictionary.
Okay.
Like a list is a list and an integer is an integer.
Okay.
So we now know how to make integer variables, float variables, string variables, Boolean variables, list variables, tuple variables kind of, but we don't really use those, and dictionary variables. Right? Did I miss any? I don't think I did. What, Adam?
I said not that I know of.
Not that you know. Okay. Thought you might be like talking smack over there. Like, look at this guy. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't even know what he's taught us. Anyway, so let's do. Okay. So phone book, like I said, is probably the most thing that you like. It's the easiest for you to understand. You can also do, and again, I'm jumping into the book this time. So you could do cat, equals, and you can have a dictionary, and you can have different values for this cat. So you could have size, and right now, ugh. One, two, three. Okay. Size is fat. Color is gray. Disposition is loud. So now if you want to display the cat size, you do cat so you can have, as opposed to, does it say how we did this with cat or with dictionaries or whatever lists? Because before we would have to do something like cat equals fat, gray, loud, and then we could do size, color, disposition, wait. We could do this. Now we have a variable called size, we have a variable called color, and we have a variable called disposition. Disposition. Okay, we have 3 individual variables that use a list, right? Does that make, okay. So first we have a variable, this is our cat list, and these are its, for that one cat, its characteristics. We then have 3 separate variables, if I could spell, that take on those characteristics. With a dictionary, you can put all of that in one cat, and it's just a little bit more condensed, because then you could just do cat 1, and he's skinny, he's black, and he's quiet. Cat 2, he's normal, I don't know, average. Color, he's calico, and disposition like a dog. So now if I want cat 2's disposition, so it's a little easier to store information, because if I wanted to do this, I would have to go, if I wanted to do this with lists, I would do cat 1 equals, and it's a list. Oh no, I don't have to do that. I would have to go cat 1 size, like cat 2 size, cat 3 size equals cat 2, because cat 2 is going to be skinny, black, and quiet. Cat 1, cat 2 is going to be average, calico, and like a dog. So it's just a little, I don't want to have 3 lists, and then I don't want to have 9 variables for cat 1 size, cat 2 size, cat 3, or all those sorts of things. So by using a dictionary, you can condense stuff a little bit more. Yes, Adam?
Can you do like cat fat and then we'll say like size and stuff? Like you do like a second.
Oh, so you're saying so cat, bracket, fat, like this?
Yeah.
No. Because what it's saying is, the fat does not exist as a key in that dictionary. So again, what if the user typed in something wrong? Right? They forgot that fat wasn't in there, or they misspelled it, and they get a key error and the code crashes. Well, obviously we don't want that. Again, there are other ways you could do it. You can do fat in cat, that is not, it's not, but
That's fine.
size in cat is true. So you can say if size in cat print That's close enough to true, right? Oh, that's wrong because size, this needs to be a key. So that's one way you can determine if something is in there. So you can say, if what the user typed in is in there, do this. Or you can say, take what the user said, do it. If you run into an error, let them know. So, okay. Questions so far? David, yeah, Stockton?
Can you, like, for lists, you can do like the dot index thing. I mean, is there a way to find, like, which cat is fat? Basically.
Which cat is fat?
And then it'll be like,
Yes, I believe so. I'll have to think about that for a second. So, now one thing I want you guys to see, so cat 1, now unlike they're unordered. So in the book, this is wrong. So it says, unlike lists, items in dictionaries are unordered. The first item, actually no, that's okay. They are unordered because there's no key to unlock key value. I can't type in cat bracket 1 because it looks for 1 to be the key. However, before an update, dictionaries were randomly stored. So if I typed in cat to look like this, I typed in cat, size first, color, then disposition. If I then printed cat, it would have disposition, size, color. So it would randomly order it, but that got changed recently, within like the last 2 years or something. Recently, last couple years. The first time I taught this class, it didn't. And then I think last year, it changed. So about a year ago it changed with like 3.8 or something like that. Any questions? Okay, so let's jump over. So we've done enough of these examples. Let's jump into actually using code to store something. So what we're going to do is we are going to copy this code in the book about birthdays, because again, that's a really useful way to maintain a birthday. I have a list of everyone's birthday who's important to me, and I have mom, dad, wife, family, that sort of stuff, and I have everyone's birthday. So what we're going to do is we're going to do birthdays equals empty list. And again, for me, this is just how I like to code. I don't like having to type in all of my quotation marks as I do it. I like doing it beforehand. So I know I'm going to have you don't have to do that, but you can. So again, I'm taking this right from the book. So if you have the book, you know where we are, chapter 5. Or if you have the website, you can copy it from there. April 1. So if I wanted to display Alice's birthday, what would I need to print? I want someone here to tell me.
Birthdays and then brackets else. The string.
Okay, so this should be a string. Alright, you guys caught both typos. Those were on purpose. So now let's run it and see what happens. Let me save it real quick. Oh, no, not there. Student folder, nope, not there. Student resources. Okay, April 1st, correct. If I wanted to print Bob's, what would I need to change here? Anything? What would I change?
Bob.
I would just change this to Bob. Will I get an answer if that's what I typed?
No,
Why is that, Thorn?
because the lowercase means something. Like,
Lowercase in a computer is different than uppercase. So for us, obviously we could be able to go, oh, well, you mean Bob with a capital B, it's December 12th. but for a computer, it sees it as two totally different objects. So when we run it, we get a key error. All right, so here we go. We're gonna type a loop while true. Actually, we're just gonna do name equals input, enter a name, blank to quote. Right? So if I want the loop to stop if they type in blank, if they just hit enter and don't type anything in, what would I do? I need an if statement. Brendan?
Well, they would have to hit blank and then enter, but if they did that, so if name equals and then parentheses and then start string and then you have just a space.
That would be if, so like this.
Yeah.
This would mean if they typed a space. You also don't need the parentheses.
Oh.
So if you just want a blank enter, just have an empty string like that. There's also one thing, I'm sure you know the answer, but that line is wrong. It's missing something. What is it missing? Equal. Yep, good job. What do we put here if we want to jump out of a loop? Break. And hey, that's perfect timing for a break. So we're gonna leave that. I'll give you guys about 6 or so minutes for break time. I'm gonna pause the recording. All right, are we good? All right, we're recording. Cool. So what we're gonna do now is if they've typed in nothing, we end the loop and it's over. But if they type in anything, now with this input, what does that mean? If they type in numbers, does anything break? No. Why is that?
This is a string anyway, so you can type anything you want.
Correct. It's just a string. It's whatever they type in gets turned into a string. So they could just headbutt the keyboard and hit enter, and we'd be good. So that's okay. So if the name that they type in is in birthdays, so this is just checking to see, is it in birthdays? Do we have a record of someone's birthday? What we're going to do is we're going to print what that birthday is. So the way we do that, how would I print? So if they type in Alice and it matches the key here, how do I print Alice's birthday? Birthdays, what? Bracket. Name, not just Alice, but yes, name.
Oh, that's your.
And then actually, do you guys, you know what really kind of annoys me? Is having to separate everything. So I'll show you two things. So the code wants us to do this. Is the birthday of name. I found out a much easier way to combine strings and variables. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to print, but what we're going to do, who remembers what an R does in front of a string?
Makes it takes it to this.
Yeah, makes it a raw string. If you put an F before it, makes it a formatted string. Now all we need to do is any place we would normally put a variable, we put a set of curly brackets. So we're going to type in birthdays. I hope I remember this correctly. Birthday's name is the birthday of bracket name.
So you put the pluses and the extra apostrophe.
Yep.
Wait, when you put the curly bracket?
Oh, I forgot to put it. here. Thank you. Good catch. I didn't forget anything. So real quick, now that we have that, I'm just gonna run it. Make sure. So Alice. Okay, so it outputs the same, but it's a little bit. I like it because I don't like having to do plus and quotations and all that jazz. So really, if I quiz you on this, it may be like, which letter do you put in front of a string in order to put variables inside the string? A, B, C, R, D, S, F. That sort of stuff. So around every variable, you just put a set of brackets. Does that make sense? And then there's also, you can put percent sign S, but there's a lot of stuff you can do with formatting a string like this. I'm only going to go over this one. Because everything else, it depends on why you need it, and I just Google it every time. So now we're going to go else. I'm going to comment out this one so that you guys can see that. So else, so what is else? What is the else condition now?
So it means they put a name in that's not in the list.
Correct. If the name isn't in the dictionary, we're going to type there is no birthday info for that person. Then we're going to do B-Day is input. What is their birthday? Now this last bit is how you add a value to a dictionary. So once you get here, I want you all to pay attention. It's super complex, and I really, really, really want you guys to pay attention because you guys might not get it the first time, okay? It's crazy complex. Is everyone good? Okay. Birthdays. Obviously, you got to put the name of the list or the dictionary.
Yes.
Okay. Then, careful. You got to put the key and then what it equals.
Wait.
I knew it. Super complex, right? No, you basically just you're telling it this is what it equals, and it automatically puts it in there. So you don't have to insert anything, you don't have to append anything. You just say dictionary key equals value, and it gets added automatically.
Oh, because it doesn't have an index, so I don't have to worry about that.
Oh, so like you can
Exactly.
add a set like that. So like if I wanted to add another, name, so like Bob, and then like change it.
Yep. So if they typed in Brendan, and we have their birthday, B-Day, well, we just say B-Day is the value for Brendan, the key of Brendan in the dictionary birthday. Yes?
Will this add it to the end of the list? Or I mean the end
It's a
of the
very good
dictionary?
question. Let's find out. Because it very well might, and it very well might not. I think it adds it to the end. So let's do... It would help if you spelled it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it adds it to the end. It was, again, before that update, I didn't know where it would go. So, it would just throw it in there. Yes?
Can you like make a dictionary full of different variables with values as their whatever other thing that's not the key is called, and then make it so like you have like a bunch of those dictionaries with different values for each of the variables, so it can like run through different ones. So like with different values this time, or
I need you to repeat that question.
so like I don't know. I just want to like imagine that'd be useful for if this works, but like you have like 3 or so dictionaries.
Okay, 3 dictionaries.
And the keys are like different variables like X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
And in each of them, they're like different like circumstances. So in dictionary 1, it'd be like X equals 1, Y equals 2, and Z equals 3. numbers for the other two dictionaries, and then you could run that through the code. So
I don't think so. So, and the reason I say that is because if I do phone equals, I have to have X defined to get, so I would have to do, I'd have to do that. So you can't have just a variable be the key if that variable doesn't have a value. Okay?
can you give it like x equals 0 and then redefine it in a dictionary or no?
Oh, so you would do
No, it's not. That's weird.
yeah, yeah, no.
I didn't think it would work. I just wanted to see. 'Cause, like,
Yeah, so the value needs to be or the key needs to be a string, but the value can be whatever you want. So you could kind of just you could do that. It would be your new X variable. Does that make sense?
Yeah. When you integrize it.
Oh, because that is 0. The program will run like that. Okay. Oh yeah, see right here in 3.7 on page 114 is the update. Okay, so now we're going to use a for loop to cycle through our dictionary. So we're just going to use, okay, birthdays is still there. So we're going to do for value. The book does V. I like doing value. Now if you just type in birthdays and print value, it gives you the keys. Because just like with all of our other for loops, this doesn't matter. The name of that, it takes on whatever's in here. So I could put for value in range 10, and I should name this number, right? So if you do this, if you want to cycle through just the values, you can't just have birthdays, you have to do birthdays dot values. It's a little modification, and then now it gives you the birthdays. It gives you only the birthdays. Now, how do you guys think, and lady, how do you think we would do this with the keys? Again, there's actually 2 ways to do this.
Can you do birthdays.keys?
Birthday.keys. And I'm going to change this. Why am I changing this?
Because unique variables with names don't make sense.
Yes. So those are my keys. I can also do for key in birthdays, print key. The same thing. If you don't specify what thing you want to cycle through in a dictionary, it will default to keys. What you doing, David? You paying attention? Okay. Now, let's say I want to display both the keys and the values to the user. Right? These are the items in the dictionary. What we're going to do is we would do not values, because values just gives us the value. We would do items. However, it gives us a pair. It's a tuple. What if I wanted to say Alice's birthday is April 1st? I can't really do that if I only have one variable. I can't split it up. Well, I could do keys I can do that. You can also put key value, and this is just a little easier for my brain. Man, how many times can you screw up typing value? To me, this is just a little easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting this in up here so that you all can have it. There are certain things, especially when we get into walking through a directory, that with for loops, depending on what this is, you can have multiple values at the beginning, multiple variables created. So for example, when we do os.walk, that will actually walk us through a directory, and we'll be able to create 3 variables that. So it would be for current folder, subfolder, file in os.walk. I'm just going to scroll up some more so you all can see these things. Do you all have questions so far? No? Okay. So we did that. Now we're going to get into methods. So these are things you can do to a list and allows you to be a little bit more effective with the list. And then pretty printing, I don't like that because it's confusing, and then it's all just this nested dictionary. And then alright. So actually, I think we'll get through everything we need to with dictionary, and then, because we got about 25 more minutes, then I'll give you guys your homework assignment, and then you'll just work on it over the weekend. Okay, so, so I'm going to comment out all of this. So, now, we obviously, when we code, I say, 1, we're not lazy, we're efficient, and the fewer words you have to type to get the same output is better, because it's less likely you'll make a mistake. So the way we're going to do this is, it's kind of annoying to type if Alice in birthdays print this, then we do birthdays bracket Alice plus this. Nope, I need this, and then that. Her birthday is, oh, I did that wrong. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay, Alice's birthday is April 4th. Boom. And if she's not there, all right, it's tedious to have to type 2 different if statements, right? And if else, all that sort of stuff. If else, print no value, no birthday. Well, there's something called the get method, which will get the value, and if it's not there, it will display something. So these 4 lines get condensed into one command, and then what that is I don't want to put that string there. Wait, hang on. Did I screw something up? If you don't, oh no, okay. So we're gonna print. Let's just start with birthday dot get. Birthdays dot get. Whose birthday do we want? Alice. What do we want it to say if her birthday's not there? No birthday?
I don't know what her birthday is.
I don't know her birthday. What am I?
A dictionary.
Calendar? Okay, so we're gonna print. Okay, so we can comment this out. What's another birthday?
I don't remember the list.
We'll do Stockton.
Am I on the list?
Nope, which is exactly why I don't know that birthday. So what this does is it looks through the dictionary. If that person is in the dictionary, if that key's in the dictionary, it will display its value. If it's not in the dictionary, it will display whatever we type here. Notice, Alice is in the dictionary, so we get her birthday. Stockton is not in the dictionary, and we get this kind of cheeky, sassy response. Wonder who wrote that. Jeez.
Computer wrote it.
Kind of a rude, this is kind of a rude program, don't you think?
Yeah, it's
Questions on that? Okay, so what we're going to do now we have something that if it's not there, let us know. But we can also have check this, if it's not there, add it.
Oh,
What?
I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we're cool that way.
Have we learned that yet? or-
Programmer.
What?
Have we learned that yet?
No, I just said we're about to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the get method will give you the result, and if it's not there, it'll give you the value, and if it's not there, it gives you a somewhat sassy message if you want to code it that way. Or you can be very, very polite. You can do it in another language. You really screw with someone. Or
Or you just say the same birthday if you don't have it. Like, his birthday's January 16th.
just have it make up a birthday.
Yeah, it's just like random.
Yeah, random listening.
Just- That's really funny. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get to it.
Then just say give thanks.
I'm sure they do that in video games all the time. It's just like, yeah. All right. Just so we know what the birthday dictionary is. Okay. So this is a set default. So what that would do is we would do if let's just add Thorin back in there. If Thorin not in birthdays bracket Thorin equal, let's do Jan 5th. I almost said Jan 55th.
Could run 2 for loops and choose between January, February, March, April, and then like the days or whatever. Except you might have to like be careful because like
I would just do 2 random choices. Have it choose between January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and then have it choose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just go between
Yeah, but like
1 and
for-
28 and go out to.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry. Just do 1 through 28.
Yeah, because then you don't have to. Yeah,
Yeah. So what this will do, now we're going to print birthdays. Hopefully I did this right. Oh, I can get rid of this. So now Thorn gets added. Boom. He has a birthday. I was worried there for a minute. But let's go with user is input. Enter a name. Enter a name if name not in birthdays. So what we need to do is we need to do birthdays. Name equals input. What is the birthday? Question mark. And now it should work.
No, you should say user, right? User.
Zach.
Oh, you said
Oh, thank you. I'm going to change this to name. Okay, so now I'm in there. But this is, I'd rather not have to write this every single time. What if Zach is in there? So what if I have Zach, colon, and my birthday is in there, but there's another Zach because is there more than one Zach in the world? So I type in Zach and his, wait, no, I don't want that Zach. That's not my birthday. Right, so you can see how this can kind of get a little weird. You can't have two keys that are the same in a dictionary. Just letting you guys know that. So with this set default, what it'll do is it will take this code and do it for you. So again, what we're going to do, we have birthdays. I'm going to comment that out. Actually, I didn't have to copy that, but whatever. And we're going to do birthdays dot set under default, not underscore. And we're going to do Zach. What this does, if Zach is in there, ignore it. If it's not, we're going to add it. So currently, Zach is in there, so it's not going to change. Okay, so I have Zach August 19th, that's still in there, even though I want it to be August 21st. So who haven't I picked on? I haven't picked on David. So let's throw David in here. Now David is in there. I don't have to do an if statement or anything. I just have to say birthdays.set default David. So if David is in there, we don't do anything. If he's not in there, we're making this his value. Does that make sense? So this right here, David, instead of having all of this, where enter a name, enter your birthday. If name not in birthdays, we have to add it. What it does is it just says, you give me a key and the value. If this key is in the dictionary, then this is the value. If the key is not in the dictionary, then this is the value. If the key is in there, it doesn't do anything. It just says, all right, it's already in there. Tracking, does that track with everyone? Everyone understand? Okay, I hope so. Now there's a cool thing, real quick, that I want to show you. This is in the book, so I'm gonna kind of speed through it real quick. Okay, so the Gettysburg Address. Okay, so that's a Gettysburg Address. So we're going to keep count of every character in this string. That'd be kind of difficult if I had, right? That's kind of a pain. So this is a short way to do it. We have a blank dictionary because we want both the letter and the number, and we want them correlated. Could we do this with two lists? Yes. Do we want to do it with two lists? No. So all we're going to do is for character in text. Remember, CH stands for character. We do count.set default. And then after we've set the default to 0, we do count of the character plus equal 1. Add 1 to the
CH always been character, or that's a variable we create for it?
It's a variable we create for it.
Can you scroll up a little bit in the console?
Yeah, sorry. So notice, a capital F only appears once. O occurs 37 times, U 6, R 28, spaces 101, S 16, blah 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 blah. A new line occurs twice. So it breaks this all up. Now, I don't really like this next little bit. Actually, no, it's actually very simple.
Wait, in text is not fine.
You need to write the text. So you could literally type text equals string, headbutt your keyboard, and be done. Gosh, people stop texting me. I'm trying to teach. Okay. Now, this doesn't look the neatest. Alright, so with dictionaries, the longer you have, the longer the dictionary, the harder it is to read what it's saying. So, there is something called pretty print. So we're going to import pprint. And this is basically only for dictionaries. So pprint stands for pretty print. And instead of print, we do pprint.pprint. And the way it will look is it will look like this. And it's in alphabetical order. Whoa. So notice capital F, capital I, capital N, L, W. Then you have A, B, C, D, E, F. Not a single Z occurred in that whole first couple lines of the Gettysburg Address.
Makes sense.
Gettysburg. Should totally be a Z in there.
Why is it has no attribute set default?
Because count has to be a dictionary.
Yeah. Oh, should import print in.
Import pprint, yeah.
I'll just allow.
Okay, the last thing, because you'll need this for your homework. Yeah, that's actually a pretty easy assignment, I think. The next, ow, I just threw my pinky into part of this armchair that's broken and that hurt. Questions, comments, concerns, critiques, cookies? No cookies. One of these days, maybe, I'll get some cookies. Okay, so last thing, nested dictionaries. So let's say we're writing a program that determines who brings what to a picnic. So I need a dictionary of names, and then I need the value for those keys needs to be another dictionary of all the items they're bringing. So we're going to do, again, I'm taking this from the book. So all guests equals. Now the cool thing about dictionaries and lists is that if you want to make it look a little neater in your code, oh wait, hang on, don't do that. Start with Alice and then hit enter. Notice it is the exact same line as if it were up here. So the computer knows, hey, I have an open bracket, open curly bracket. I need to go until I see the next closed bracket. So that, do you guys notice that? That if this weren't here, if Alice weren't here, it's the same. No, it's not if you don't put anything in there. Alice colon. See how they match up? But normally, actually for people this way, it'd be like this. But because it's a new line, it's straight down. That's how you know you're still within the dictionary. So we're going to go Alice, type Bob, and Carol. Now, Alice is bringing apples, and she's bringing 5 of them, and she's bringing pretzels. She's bringing 12 of those. Bob is bringing ham sandwiches. He's bringing 3. Oh, and he's bringing 2 apples. Having nested dictionaries like this will be important for Monday's homework. Not necessarily for the weekend's homework, but for Monday's homework. And then what Carol bring? Carol is bringing cups, bracket 3, comma. Ooh, she's bringing apple pies. These people really like apples, don't you think? Okay. Do I have any issues? I do have. Oh, because I forgot. Oh, that's right. Notice, because this is the value for Alice, you need a comma after the dictionaries. If you don't, you'll get an invalid syntax. Okay, so this code is now written correctly. Any questions? Will, you good? Will? Okay. Okay. So what we're now going to do is we are going to print. Does this work? Hang on. Well, we're going to find out. So we are going to print what everyone is bringing. Oh, well, duh, I need to write the actual code, not just print everything. So the book has this as a, yeah, well, we should probably write it. And we have 4 minutes, so let's, yeah. Define total brought. So what this function is going to do is you're going to cycle through the dictionary and add everything up. And then at the end of it, it'll tell us that we have 7 apples being brought. 3 cups, 0 cakes, 3 ham sandwiches, and 1 apple pie. Am I going too fast? No? Okay. So num brought is 0. And we're going to redo that. We're going to cycle through each item. And then let's just code. For KV in guests dot items. What does the KV stand for?
Key and value.
Key and value. If I put values here, will that work?
No.
What about keys?
No, I don't think.
It has to be items because items returns 2 values, a key and a value. Then num brought equals, actually plus equal because I don't like v dot get now. Whoa, what is this line doing? Okay. All right. So let's go through this. So we are adding to num brought whatever this is.
Oh, it's basically adding like total amount of things that everyone's bringing. Right?
Well, why can't I just do v or why do I have to have this?
Because zero. But zero's the one thing, so I don't know. I don't exactly know.
Well, remember dot get will get the value of this unless this doesn't exist.
Then it
Otherwise,
doesn't.
it will give 0.
Oh, so if they're not bringing anything, then instead of giving an error, it'll just add nothing.
That's exactly it. So we're adding whatever the value of whatever they got. Oh my gosh, we're almost done. We're almost out of time. Return num brought. So now if we, oh my gosh, there's a lot of print here. I'm just gonna cut this down a little bit.
Wait, don't we have till 20?
Do we have till 20?
No, it's still 10.
Really?
Yep, I checked.
Strange. Wait,
Okay.
Did they cut time off your bonus period?
I don't know. This So without typing everything that the book did, notice with apples, what it does is it cycles through all of this and goes, how many apples are there? There's 5.
With Brooke O'Carroll, Nora Fitzpatrick, Sam Dykema, Bryce Swift, and Caleb Demas, please come to the main office. Thank you.
So it adds 5 apples, it adds 5 to 2, and we get 7. Right, we have 7 here. However, is there cakes anywhere in this dictionary? So it returns 0, and that's what we get
With
here.
Alex Valdez, please come to Student Services.
So that's it, and again, that's all in the book, and it cycles. So if you have any confusion, take a look at this section in the book. It's under nested dictionaries and lists. Over the weekend, I'm going to give you guys homework. It's your first homework from the book. Again, the answers are in the back of the book, so the homework is completion. What you guys will also need to do is the fantasy game inventory in the back of, it's a review question. This will be a project. This I will actually grade based on what you write. However, 90% of it is already written for you. It tells you where you need to fill it in. So read the question, look where it says fill this part in. You just have to fill that part in. If I remember correctly, it's like 2 or 3 lines, if that. It might even be just 1, I'm not sure. So that'll be your homework. I will make sure you guys have an assignment by the end of the day on campus, hopefully by the end of lunch. Other than that, I hope you all have, yes, Thorne.
We use our notes in the book on the homework.
Yes, I don't care. On any assignment that's not a quiz or test, I don't care what you use to figure it out. Just do not copy and paste code from the internet if you don't understand it. All right? And again, that's why the questions, the practice questions, are completion because you can just look in the back of the book and get the answers.
Do you want us to do that?
I do not want you to do that. What I want you all to do is to answer the questions, go 1 through 8, okay, let me check, oh, I got this one wrong, then upload it. But I can't prove that you ever do that. So have a great weekend, everyone. That'll be it for class. This assignment will be up soon. If you have any questions, message me. I don't know if I'll be responsive this weekend, but anyway, see you all Monday.
If we see that something's wrong, do you want us to correct it, or do you want us to grade it as wrong?
Hang on one sec. See you, Will. You're good to go.